Today I'm going to show you how I defeated 5 waves of Lynels at the Floating Coliseum in the depths without dying. Please note that this video is not intended for players who are looking for the easiest solution to defeat Lynels, as we will analyze these powerful beasts' attack patterns and how I responded to each. At the end of the analysis, we will also cover things I did to prepare for combat. My name is ricemama, and let's get started. If you don't know where the Floating Coliseum is, it is right underneath the Coliseum ruins near the Great Plateau. When you reach the center of the Coliseum, the gate will shut and the first Lynel is released. This is a red-meaned Lynel, which is the most basic of all Lynels out there with an HP of 2000. As you can see, the Lynel won't attack you just yet. It will get into position first, and if you're good at aiming, you can actually use this time to shoot its face, which will cause the Lynel to stagger. But since I'm awful with my aiming skills, I decided to stay and wait for it to attack. From here, I pay attention to the timing and where he's swinging from to trigger a flurry rush. Since it's a side swing, it's easy to trigger a flurry rush by doing a backflip. For this particular Lynel, it will swing its weapon 2 more times, then sweep its head, so I kept my distance to avoid the impact. Next up is the blue-maned Lynel, which has an HP of 3000. This one will smash the weapon onto the ground, so a backflip to trigger a flurry rush would be ineffective. In this instance, I employed a side strafing technique to effectively dodge the attack and execute a flurry rush. At this mark, I was slow to anticipate this move, however, and lost my temporary hearts as a result. This blue-maned Lynel would then get into position, and here I used a bokoblin horn just because I had so many, which was a mistake because I should have used Key's eyeballs to home in on the Lynel to stagger it. And then it's going to slam the floor, which I quickly evaded by sprinting away. So this time, I was able to effectively land a face shot, and I know I could have mounted the Lynel's back, but I wanted to deliver a charged attack with my spear. But most of them did not land perfectly, as you can see on the video, and I didn't cancel my charged attack fast enough, which cost me 4 cracked hearts on my health bar. Lynels project 3 rounds of fireballs and can be easily avoided by sprinting perpendicularly. So here, I was already feeling impatient, so I decided to sprint diagonally in attempt to reach the rear part of the Lynel, but since I sprinted too close to the fireball's range, my plan was not successful. Again, getting ahead of myself by doing a spin attack at a close range instead of staying on the defense. Like I mentioned earlier, every time that the Lynel gets into position, you will have a short window to land a face shot to stagger the Lynel, but just make sure to use a Key's eyeball as your adversary is very agile. Okay, so that took longer than it should be, and all because I was too impatient and getting ahead of myself, so please learn from my errors. Round 3 is a white maned Lynel, which has an HP of 4000. This Lynel also deals more damage compared to the earlier two, and so it would be a good time to restore your cracked hearts, if any, and replenish your health using prepared meals or potions. Again, a lateral swing which is dodged by a backflip, triggering a flurry rush. I didn't have a lot of powerful weapons, so I opted to use the Master Sword this time to deliver faster blows. This Lynel variant does an overhead strike, which can be countered using a parry, but since I suck at parrying, I just ran for my life. Oof. Yeah, baby. Here, I used a double-handed weapon fused with a Frost Gleeok horn because, like I said, I didn't have a lot of powerful weapons to choose from, but just know that Lynels in general are element resistant. Again, don't do what I did here with the Bokoblin horns, just use the short window to do a face shot using Key's eyeballs.
So scared. Keep missing. This is great. I'm so scared. What the heck? Ah! Why do I keep missing? Ah! I'm great. Ah. Ah. I failed miserably. Run! Okay. Probably a good idea to eat something right now.
If not an overhead strike, this Lynel will also deliver a fiery blast that has a huge area of effect damage, which can also be parried if you like to take a risk, or you could also dodge it by sprinting ahead of time.
Oh my gosh, how that reached me. Okay now. Oi! That was horrible. Oh, it's there.
Alright, 3 rounds done, and we have yet to face 2 silver Lynels, which is the strongest variant out of all Lynels with an HP of 5000. Those 4 temple bosses don't stand a chance even with all of their HP combined. It is very agile and delivers a damaging blow, so make sure you have plenty of reliable shields with you. It doesn't need a lot of time to get into position, but the techniques you learned from the 3 previous rounds can be applied to the silver Lynel. Since it has a lot of health, it's advisable to reserve your most powerful weapons to this Lynel type.
Forever.
And last but not the least is the armored silver Lynel. This is still the same silver Lynel, except that you'll have to change your strategy in the beginning because its armor will have to be broken first before you can deal damage to it. Here I used a rocket shield to propel me up and achieved bullet time while blowing up its armor as shown on its yellow health bar. Obviously you can choose to crack its armor in different ways, such as using a blunt hammer or a demolisher.
Uy! What in the world? One more. Haha! Sucks to be you. Nope. Okay. Okay now. Yes.
Since this was the final round, I thought it would be a good idea to consume a meal with a high level attack power buff.
Oi! Run! I'm gonna heal.
For all Lynel fights, it's very important to keep your shield up whenever you're anticipating an attack. I understand that holding your shield is challenging when your main melee weapon is a two-handed weapon, so always be ready to put away your weapon, then wield your shield before the Lynel strikes. It does require plenty of practices to get used to this. For the rest of the final round, you can keep spamming bomb arrows or do a face shot, trigger a succession of flurry rushes, sprinting to avoid hard blows, or if you're feeling up to it, do a perfect parry to counter the assault.
Damn. Oh my god. It's done.
And once it's done, don't forget to take a selfie because you deserve it. There are several coliseums in the depths, and they serve as a battle
deserved.
arena where you find a wave of monsters in ascending difficulty. These beasts also guard legacy items such as Midna's helmet, Raviel's hood, Trousers of Awakening, and for this instance, this arena guards the Majora's Mask. I could have used puff shrooms to help me defeat them, but I wanted to practice fighting difficult Lynel types because I used to run away from them on Breath of the Wild. I couldn't have done all of that without ample preparation, and so before I headed to the Coliseum, I prepared lots of meals, such as meals that provide extra temp parts, meals that provide an attack buff, and most importantly, meals that help restore Link's cracked hearts. If you have the Barbarian armor set, that would be ideal to use, but since I did not have the complete set, I decided to use a non-upgraded Soldier's armor set, which has a base defense rating of 12. If you have the sages with you, then it might also be a good idea to use them in combat. I have 2 at the time of this recording, but I chose not to summon them because I think they're too distracting. The last takeaway that I can share to all of you is that fighting Lynels take plenty of practice. All enemies have attack patterns and you can use them to your advantage. Check out my Combat 101 video if you're looking to polish your combat skills in Tears of the Kingdom. Thank you so much for watching. This has been ricemama, and I'll see you on the next one.